Okay, so it seems like we have an update on the whole Twitch situation that's been going on recently, with a ton of VTubers calling out exactly what is going on over on the space. Now, if you didn't see the last video, literally the last video, we covered obviously Megalodon talking about this, but also a response from Twitch which came out, which was pretty terrible. Now, this was the response again. We'll go through it again slightly in a little bit. But essentially, this has caused a lot more bigger VTubers to actually start talking about this issue, which has, caught the attention of a lot of people in the VTuber community altogether, including, as you can probably tell from the title and thumbnail of this video, Zentreya, who obviously has been calling this out and has been talking about it over on Twitter with this one post here. Now, this is in response to the post that we covered yesterday, and yeah, essentially she says, I think people have the right to say you shouldn't worry about view count, is all their opinion, and that's fine. You need to also look on the opposite side. When you invest your life and full-time job into this career, which I have and many others, and I've seen drops here and there, it is what it is, but not on this magnitude. This is a concerning thing. This is not as simple as everyone's busy month. I've been here for almost 10 years, and this is a legitimate issue with Twitch right now. Viewership, whether you like it or not, does affect sponsorships and opportunities. This is frustrating for myself and many others, small or large, and the viewbotting issue was not fixed. This punished honest creators out there who worked hard, and to be told there was no issues by the Twitch team was very disheartening to hear, and I believe this is an oopsies, we made a mistake, but it's not our fault, and we'll walk forwards. This isn't fair to partners and its streamers who have made a career doing what they love, and people who want to. At Twitch support, you either need to revert the changes what you've done, or make a new change. But this was not it. And irresponsible to your platform, and caused unneeded stress and frustration to many people. Which, yeah, 100% is true. Zen is completely right there. And if you were to ask me exactly, if I was to pick out any VTuber who obviously looks after a lot of smaller streamers and smaller VTubers, and just other VTubers in general, I would say it's Zen. We've seen over the course of the past couple of months, past couple of years, right? She has tried to include a lot of smaller streamers and smaller VTubers in her content, or help them out, or whatever. We've seen so many different cases of that, right? And obviously, that's where I can see why Zen is very frustrated by this. Not because of them personally. Obviously, well, maybe they are a little bit frustrated by viewership. I haven't really checked out what their viewership looks like. But, I'm pretty sure they're more frustrated for the smaller streamers who are being way more affected by this. Because, yes, obviously, a lot of people can sit there with a high viewership and be totally fine and say, oh, well, it's just your problem. You don't need to worry about view count. But obviously, it is a big problem for a lot of people who are trying to get sponsors and trying to make a career out of it. Now, maybe, sure, it doesn't affect small stream, 5 viewer streamers, right, as much. Yes, it will be very disheartening to have a drop in viewership and things like that. But again, they probably weren't really making a ton of money at that point, enough to sustain a career. But whenever you start getting into like the hundreds, 200s, 300s, right, into that kind of sphere, and then they drop from there, well, then you've got people who are starting to lose their careers, starting to lose that mainstream kind of income. And well, obviously it does become a little bit of an issue there. And I think that Zen obviously points it out, that, although you should worry about view count, and that's what people say, right? At the end of the day, it still does affect sponsors, and it still does affect how they see you, what they kind of give you, and the opportunities that you get in the future, which can have a major issue for a ton of VTubers and streamers in the space, especially whenever you got changes like this, who are, obviously lowering viewership, and it's not even changing anything. That's the big part, because, again, obviously, the big part about this is that, this is all supposed to end view bots. This is all supposed to end all the bots in chat and get rid of them once and for all, right? But the thing is, they are still around. We saw a clip from Dog the other day, right, where essentially he was being gifted subs during his Final Fantasy Tactics stream. And, well, obviously during that, all of these gifted subs were going to bots. And even him and Pete on stream noticed, hey, these are going to people with random bot names. Why is this happening? I wanted to go to my real audience. And even Twitch said to him, like, oh yeah, there's a bot problem going on right now. So, and that was post-fix. So if that is post-fix, then exactly what are they fixing here? Because it seems like the issue is still very much there, and the only thing they're affecting is real people, They're affecting a lot of the lurkers who don't interact with the chat. Obviously, that is what Megalodon revealed over in her video with this kind of analytic here. you can see that the users are still staying the same, but the viewers are dropping as soon as she gets into a game and interaction goes down with the chat, right? It's a big problem, and this is like a 400 viewer gap. This isn't like a 20, 10 viewer gap where, hey, maybe there's a bit of fluctuation and Twitch hasn't counted all of them or whatever. Sure, there's a bit of leeway with that, but this is like 400 viewers, which is pretty insane. And obviously a lot of people are starting to get very worried about these kind of gaps because, again, it does present a huge issue for them, right? Obviously, as well, some people have been talking about this document which we covered yesterday, which essentially was saying that if you watch more than one streamer, or if you watch, like, I think it's 3 streamers or something, you will not be counted as a viewer in any of the streams. If you decide to watch multiple streams, then you are not going to be counted for any of them. Not even the first one you click on, any of them, which obviously is going to be a big issue. Now, obviously, this was also a issue as well because this has always been around for a while. They've been saying this. This wasn't as a result of any update or any change that they've made. Obviously, watching more than one stream and not being counted as a viewer has been around for a little while now, and they're just trying to use it to blame it on that rather than the issues that they've actually put into the website recently, right? I think that obviously is becoming a big issue as well. Other people as well have been talking about this, saying, I'm embarrassed for Twitch, lol. Lurkers have always been the backbone of Twitch. Us little guys are being suppressed for whatever reason. Maybe Twitch can't afford to pay us ad rev anymore, I don't know. But go and look at some of the top streamers and you'll see that they're botting without any issues. Those are the people that Twitch cares about. If people have the stream up and aren't counted, I feel like Twitch is stealing from me at that point. Steal from all of us, which, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of bigger streamers are still being affected, by the way. I think obviously the ones that aren't really being affected are either botting or have a very dedicated community. There is two kind of factors to that, right? They either, yeah, obviously have a community who interacts with them a lot, meaning that their viewers won't dip because they have a lot of interactions. For example, I've seen like Neurosama and people like that. They have a very dedicated community, right? So obviously they are going to have much higher viewership because they are interacting with the chat. Whereas some people obviously as well are botting, and obviously that will keep their viewership up too, despite all of this happening. But then also we've seen some of, most of the top streamers, or top VTubers in the streaming space, right, actually losing viewerships. We went through it in one of the previous videos, right? Most of the ones that are at the top of the charts in terms of top streamers are all losing viewership. Now, yes, it's probably like a drop from like, 8,000 to 6,000. Like, oh my God, what are they ever going to do? It's going to be the end of the world. But it does kind of show you that everybody is still losing it and everybody is being affected by it, not just the small streamers. It is also the big ones too. So again, I did want to kind of make that clear there. Obviously as well, but obviously for the smaller streamers it has much more of an effect on them. We go to this person as well, saying, I appreciate Zen and other creators are starting to show how much they care for smaller creators. And yeah, Zen has always been someone who's cared for smaller creators, not just starting. She has always been that kind of person to do that. She's well known in the community for doing that kind of stuff, right? I said, if you do not care about numbers, however, there are people that would love to do this as a full-time job. I was excited whenever I was averaging about 40 to 60 viewers until the big hit came, and now I'm only averaging around 25 to 35. This is not the lurkers' fault. It sucks that Twitch has to implement these things for their own needs and not the streamers. I will not push people to get a sub because that is expensive. I will pause when ads do happen. I do have channel points where if you click it, where you can click if you're lurking. It just pains me. It just sucks, man, to push. And even if you do say to take a break, it doesn't work like that. I've been making content for 10 years as well. The best I can only do is upload more clips and highlights and hope for the best, which obviously, yeah, I think that's how a lot of people are taking this right now. And obviously it is a big issue because many people are now just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just try, I'll just upload anything and just see if it sticks. Because again, it seems like obviously the platform that I'm kind of streaming towards is not really giving me any help anyways. And obviously that is tied in with all of the terrible systems over at Twitch already. For example, like the discovery systems and things like that, which are already hard enough to kind of get through. But now you have to deal with them actually nerfing your viewership as well, which I think is pretty insane. Obviously, a lot of people say, I love when bigger creators don't let it go to their head or write better than us. Which, yeah, it's 100% true, because obviously there has been some cases. I can't really think of any big VTuber that has done this yet, but I've seen a couple of like medium-sized or whatever VTubers over on Twitter, being like, oh, just, don't worry about the viewership, just get better, make better content, right? but sometimes that isn't always the case, and I think that's something that people need to understand, right? Because again, obviously even Zentreya is saying you shouldn't worry about view count. You know, she's literally quoting someone like that. It's all their opinion. And obviously, yeah, there's been many people that have been trying to tell people not to worry about the view count, don't worry about it, just keep doing your content. But sometimes it can be genuinely frustrating whenever a platform literally takes away your viewership. This is not your fault. This is not, you know, a fault of you making bad content or, you know, kind of dropping the ball in terms of streaming, right? No, that's not the case. It is literally Twitch going, okay, you have half viewership now, have fun. And obviously, that's it. That's literally it. And obviously, some people was trying to say, oh, you know, don't worry about it. You shouldn't worry about it, which is very easy to say whenever they're in a position where their viewership is much higher and they're potentially making a lot more than them, right? And people are not happy about that too. But I think obviously it shouldn't turn into a big fight. I think that people should just ignore some of the people that are being like that and should focus on the main kind of message which people are trying to send to Twitch, which is, hey, you know, this is not good enough. Now they've already, you know, put out responses and things, which means they are kind of seeing a lot of the stuff that's coming out at the moment about some of the changes that they made. So hopefully if we continue to do that, then obviously they will potentially listen up. I don't know. Obviously it is Twitch, so they might not. But again, hopefully we can make it very clear that we are not happy with what is going on at the moment. But if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Don't, yeah, go over there. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.